an artist. Don't to do that, then they have to see, be real honest and frank with themselves and say, do I really have this passion to do this? And if they have the passion, then they'll do the work to get into it. But there are steps, that I could tell people. And I actually have several people that we meet together once a month, and they're breaking into wanting to become professional artists, and I go through the steps, the things that they need to do, the avenues of social media that are available now that I didn't have whenever I started out 35 years ago, and the way to approach that, Instagram, Facebook. I don't understand Twitter, and I never can understand it, make it work for me. But the other two, I use a lot, and that's. But anyway, there's things to do, ways that you, if you want to become a professional, you narrow down your niche, what it is that you love to paint, and you make your style based on what that is. You don't do paintings of 7 different styles and then expect people to want to invest large amounts of money in your work because they don't know where you're going to be in 5 years. So things like that.
Yeah, that's very true. And that's one of the things, no matter what people think, and I'm curious because Mr. has got some ties to sports and everything, but that's the one thing that no matter what people think about Colin Kaepernick and about some of the other people that I've been impressed with that same thing I mentioned earlier, the lunch with the district judge and everything. It was actually District Judge Dave Hall. One of the ladies is involved in SONG, which is an organization that does with bail and criminal justice reform, but she's actually going tomorrow to meet with something called the Players Collective. But apparently it's players that were impacted by different things in their life that we hear people talking about. So they've actually gotten together, and they're not just giving it lip service, they're actually doing things in the community. So they're meeting with activists to actually do something on these issues. So I'm glad to see people that are actually, if they've got a concern, are actually putting their passion and putting motion to their action and not just doing it by lip service.
Hello? Artists over the years have been activists. Artists over the years have been the people that sort of been on the forefront of causing change and creating change and bringing change to the forefront of the masses. And I think we have to sort of step up. And I know that with this, sort of going back to the hurricane, one of the paintings I did, which actually won the poster contest for the Southport Wooden Boat Show, but that was neither here nor there. But what I've done, I've taken that print and basically through Facebook, through all these things, have promoted it, and I'm giving 100% of the proceeds from the sale of that print to go to the fishing community families of Brunswick County. So I think artists need to step up. We need to, like you said, put our money where our mouth is, step up and do something and make a change and make a help and be part of the change that's going on within our community. And we see that in Durham with a lot of different artists and the mural work that's going on downtown, which I think is fantastic. It's exciting to see other artists being able to share a message, share something that is meaningful to the community and helping change. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, that's definitely something we need to have and everything, because oftentimes we don't see that enough of. Now, Tony and also Mr. Messier, what advice would you give to Tony? What advice would you give to people in terms of being involved in the causes and everything, in terms of using their art for cause? Because it seems to me that too often we have artists that are afraid to use their medium in terms of being able to address issues.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, John.
Okay. I think that, first off, I think an artist needs to find where their passion is, whether in what part of the world that they can make a difference. And then ultimately you have to come to the point of them saying, all right, let's step out of our comfort zone. Because it's so easy, generally, especially as a painter or a visual artist, we stay up in our little studios and we're isolated from the world. And so we don't get involved with people outside of it as a general rule. It's one of the reasons I go to the coffee shop every day. They know me. They make my coffee when I walk in. To get that interaction with people. So we need to push outside of that isolation that we tend to do and be willing to share with other people and find out, what it is that either excites us or saddens us or where we need to make change, and then find those avenues. I think one of the things that artists don't realize anymore, or it's new to realize, is that collaboration is a key. I mean, I collaborate. We have to collaborate. We have to get involved with other people. And so when we start doing that, then we start getting outside of ourselves and our little isolationist studios and start doing something. But I think one of the keys to arts doing anything is to start collaborating with other artists and other organizations and things like that.
Yeah, no doubt. And what were you going to say, Mr. Messier?
I was just going to say that kind of the same thing. There's people shouldn't be afraid to share their voice or share their opinions on something. And with these days with social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, there really is a way to get your message out to more and more people. So I just encourage people to do that.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the things we're going to do right now is, this is all for three of you, because I did hear that noise that we give about our 10-minute mark. One, I hope that all three of you will come back at some point, because we love having all three of you as guests. You've been amazing guests. But right now is a chance for all three of you, and we'll start, I guess we'll go ladies first. So we'll start with Margot first. But if you would give people your website, so Margot first, then Mr. Messier, and then Tony. If you tell people how they can reach you. So we'll start with Margot. If you'll tell people your Instagram handle and any other handles that you want people to follow you to get these positive messages that you give.
Sure, thank you. You can reach me. My website is thiscurvyworld, so THISWORLD.com. My IG handle is also thiscurvyworld. And you can find me, either on my website or on Instagram. Thank you for having me today.
It's so excited to have you on, Margot. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Mr. Messier, how would folks reach you?
MikeMessier.com. It's MikeMessier.com. I have a second website, DistanceFromAvalon.com, which is my film festival, Avalonia Festival. And YouTube, Mike Messier. So I'm around. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely a pleasure to have you on. And Tony, tell folks how they can reach you.
First off, my website is TonyAldermanArts.com. Just my name, TonyAldermanArts.com. My Instagram is Alderman Tony, but you also, if you do Tony Alderman Artist, look it up at Alderman Tony. And then I do have a YouTube channel. It's Tony Alderman Arts. Put that in there, and it comes up there too. So any of those three ways, it's great.
Cool. And I just looked at the time, and we've actually got a few more minutes, so I'm going to go back around the round table. This time we'll go with Margot once again. But if you've got any parting words of advice that you just want to give that we have not touched base on, and whether that's about positive life, positive self-esteem, or whatever you feel like dropping a jewel right now, this is your chance to drop your jewel that you might want to share.
I'm just going to say that, there's something real freeing and real empowering about sharing your journey, sharing your voice, finding your community, and just kind of really letting go of what other people might think or feel about you sharing your path. There's a lot of people out there that want to hear what you have to say because they may be feeling the same way and are looking to connect with others. I think we're living in a time right now where people want to feel connected to other people. People are angry about what's going on in the world. People are upset about everything. Like I said, I don't like to listen to the news because of that, but I feel that there is a real peace and connection, and we need to do more of that.
Definitely. And Tony, what advice or jewel do you want to drop?
It is to don't be afraid to share. Don't be afraid to be a creative person. Don't be afraid to collaborate with other people. I mean, there is so much good inside of us. There is so much creativity. I believe we're creative beings at our very core. So don't be afraid to do it, and people will react to it.
No doubt about it. And Mr. Messier, representing Rhode Island, what do you want to let folks know in terms of sharing any wisdom that you might want to have?
Well, probably the most wisdom I can share is in my documentary, Disregard the Vampire, a Mike Messier documentary. It's on my YouTube channel. But really for people, a lot of people are probably upset with how the presidential thing broke down a couple of years ago. And my biggest, encouragement would be sometimes things only improve when we hit rock bottom. Sometimes it takes a wake-up call, and people might see Trump as a wake-up call or not, that every little congressional district, every little position in politics matters. And for a lot of people who may never have considered politics before, maybe that's something they'll pursue now, even on a small level, because every cabinet position counts, every district counts. And I don't know if people really realized that until November 2016. Maybe they did, but maybe they didn't. So, and as far as the Electoral College goes, maybe people need to fight to get rid of it. If people really want to change elections on a national presidential level, then maybe there needs to be some type of getting rid of the Electoral College, which is bigger than me tonight, but maybe that'll happen in the future if more people rally around it.
Definitely. Dean, I'm going to talk to you, and then I'll close it out. But, Dean, what words of advice do you have? You've been listening, and I'm going to throw it at you, and then we'll throw it on out of here.
You know what? I thank all of our guests for being with us tonight. We greatly appreciate all of you. And, as I always say, man, when you walk outside your front door, it's showtime. The world is your stage. Make sure that they are not watching the rehearsal. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I got to plug it. Every Monday night, we're here, except for holidays. Catch the replays. You can also catch the replays on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn, and, of course, Blog Talk Radio. So that's going to be it for me. The six-man Dean Geronimo is out. Mark Lee, take it out of here, bruh.
Yeah, just on the same note, I want to thank all three of our guests for being on the show. It's great having, I've known Tony for a while, but now I've picked up two new friends, because I've considered both Margot and Mr. Messier to be friends of mine now as well. So I'm glad that I picked up two new friends, and we're definitely going to just try to see what we can do in our own little small way to make a difference in the world. That's part of what Straight Talk is all about. It's our chance to have an opportunity to have conversations and dialogue about things that are going on in the world and ways that we can help make a small difference in this world. Like Margot said, we only have a limited amount of time here on this planet, so we need to do what we can to make it a better world.
That's very true. And, service is your rent for your place here on earth, as my grandmaster has often said. So, watch what you do, watch what you say, watch who you say it to. Everybody's not going to like it, but at the same time, they'll respect it. So, hey, man, who we got next week?
Oh, let's see. Next week, I've got another author on. We've got Alice Sarkey. Alice Sarkey is a young poet who is now a single mother. She got married, had a baby, and is now a single mother, but she is also a very talented poet, and she's also gone through some different issues in terms of, like, having to deal with abuse and things of that nature, but she is very open about what she had to deal with in life in her poetry. So I'm definitely looking forward to hearing her talk about her book. I believe this is her first book ever that she wrote, so she will be our guest next week. I believe that I mentioned to David Hall, the district court judge that I said that I met, for him to call as well. So we'll be hearing from a district court judge, because like Mr. Messier said, there is very important people on the local level, and we need to hear from them. So he's a district judge, which means he'll be impacting stuff around different parts of North Carolina, so we want to hear what he's got to say as well. So I've got both of them on, and who knows who else I might find, but those are the two that are guaranteed to be on next week.
All right, so, hey, man, it was a beautiful show tonight. Again, we had very knowledgeable guests. We thank everyone for listening and tuning in. We're going to see you next week.
And by the way, hopefully, because he was calling from Rhode Island, hopefully the demographics will show Rhode Island very shortly. We take the win. Alaska, Montana, North Dakota. I need to hear from you.
Yep, we're looking forward to hearing from you, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.